Okay.
Adam, welcome to the show. Welcome to Recovering Loudly, man. The Possessed podcast. We've been a bit quiet for the last little bit because the music side of this brand has kept me pretty busy. And now, so to have you as our follow-up guest to spark it back up, it's super awesome. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So it's you're the 1,000 day man. 1,000 days straight. You just did your 1,000th day like couple days ago,
Yeah,
right?
it's
On Tuesday, and then you
last
went
Tuesday.
80K on
Yep.
that day. So you are literally a man possessed to slay it. Like literally we wear the Slay the Day t-shirts, but Adam is the Slay the Day t-shirt, like literally,
There we go.
So,
right?
sorry, when you
And
say thousand, when you say 1,000 days, is that like you're 75 hard, but going for 1,000 days?
he's just not stopping.
Oh, nice.
And in
Yeah.
that time, which is one of the most like really wild, is he's basically lost an entire person off. Like you've how much weight have you actually lost, Bear?
Uh, about 120 pounds.
So
Right.
that's a that's a human being.
But one of the things that we got to really understand though is when I started my journey, I was 320 pounds. I lost 100 pounds in 10 months. So I lost 120 pounds in just over a year, and I've been able to keep it off since.
So what started this journey? What was life like before that? And then what if you want to get into it and what led you to make that decision?
Man, my life has been a real roller coaster, if you will. I was growing up, I was a really high level athlete. Sports was a big thing for me. But my home life was always kind of, in and out with family battles, if you will. I was the older brother of my siblings, and my mom always needed some help. But sports was my escape until I found drugs. And drugs became my escape, was my freedom for my mind. So I always had this little battle between being good and being bad, right? And there was a moment in my life where I was being good again. I was going to college, I was playing college ball again, and I blew my knee. And just after a really great season, everything was on the up and up. But when I blew my knee, my family didn't have the money to keep me going to school, and I kind of had a really bad attitude, and I just kind of gave up. And for 18, 19 years, I decided to live on the other side of the tracks, man, and just live a life in the dark underworld, man. And I went real deep into that shit. And I packed on a lot of weight, and I started to create this character, this guy that we call Bear. And it was a way, now that I understand, it was a way to protect myself from being hurt again, as we learn later in life about the journey of self-love and healing your inner child and doing all that work that all men need to do, I believe. But it was really protecting me. So to basically, shorten the story is January 26th of 2022. I've lived a life in and out of the darkness, running around different parts of the world, finding myself in really serious situations, man. And now I'm a father, I'm a father for my son and my daughter, and I was unable to tie my shoes. The amount of drugs and alcohol I was consuming per month is that's another topic. And I could feel death coming. I could feel it coming, and I had to change. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. I had to change. I had a couple of my homies always poking me, saying, "Hey, man, it's time for you. It's time for you to like get your shit together." And I just bark at them, I'd bite at them and tell them to stop being a bitch and leave me alone type thing, right? But really, it was is as I knew death was coming, man. So on January 26th of 2022, I decided to get my shit together and I
January
found my
26th.
and I haven't stopped since.
Right. Yeah. And in that, like, so then you haven't stopped. So you just what was the first step you took? Like, because that's not easy for like I mean, I'm in your group. I'm in the Fly Straight group, and we see men come in, come out. I'm one of those guys. I've been in the group for a year. Without this group, I will say it. I don't think I wouldn't be where I'm at. Like to have a group of men that are keeping you on track is just it's so important, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But to
For
make that initial step, right, Bear, like you were fucking committed and you did it and you haven't stopped. So like, what was the first thing you did? You went to the gym.
Well, basically, what it comes down to is I knew in my mind that for in order for me to get my shit together, and I was going to have to give up a lot of stuff, and that meant the drugs, the alcohol, the partying, the image, the ego.
The
You know, I
women.
was 320 fucking pounds, man, and I knew that I had to completely commit and change, and I've always been a person that when I'm in. I go to the fucking end. I'm committed. You know what I mean? I'll burn the house down, man. Like even when I'm scared, I'll still stand there and hold my nuts, right? So it's about making the commitment. And during that process, I was looking at coaches, and one of the coaches I was looking at, really educated guy, knew the human body really well, but there was one thing missing. I wasn't going to respect him if he was going to talk about mindset. I would own him, because I knew he's never been in positions in his life where he had to survive. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't going to school me on life. So that was the one thing that I had an upper hand on him because I wasn't going to respect him. But then the coach that I found, he's my big brother, man, Nate. I love that guy. You
Shout
know,
out to fucking Nate for sure.
Nate's a beautiful human being. He loves everybody. He's strong. He's passionate. He gives a shit. But he's kind of from my world, and I respected him because I looked up to him, and he was the tough guy. He had all the tats. He was the guy in kind of my world, and he was doing this fitness thing, and he was preaching being good and getting your shit together. So I looked up to that and I wanted to earn his respect, right? And I knew that was going to be a battle because I'm 320 pounds. And so I reached out to him and he said that he would be at the gym and to come by. Hold on a sec, guys. And
All
then
good.
and then it was 6 o'clock in the morning, man. He said, show up to the gym. When I got there, there was a bunch of fucking savages there, man. Guys doing fucking burpees and push-ups and all sorts of shit. On the first day, it was leg day. And
Oh fuck.
what
The
really
worst.
sparked me though is that day Nate said something to me. And you got to think, guys, we're men here, right? And we all have the ego. We think we're tough motherfuckers. If fights happen, we'd knock a dude out, all that kind of shit, right? Nate says this to me. If someone was to come to your house and bring hell on earth and ready to just destroy your family in front of you, rape your wife, take your kids, all that shit. Would you have the strength to give them a fighting chance to survive? That shit hit me, man. I couldn't even tie my fucking shoes, man. But here I am walking around thinking I'm the tough guy. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I had to check my ego, and it was time to get to fucking work. So I did leg day, and these guys didn't think I was going to show up, but Nate said he'd be there. I had to go there 5 days a week. He'd be there seven, and I wanted to earn his respect, so I just kept showing up, man.
Yeah. And no matter what, and he just that don't quit mindset, right? Just and this is that's killer because a lot of
Oh,
us.
yeah, bro. One of the things that I said to was my commitment is that you have to make a decision, right? When you're about to do anything, you have to make a decision to commit. So my commitment was I wasn't going to stop doing anything what I was doing. I wasn't going to drink. I wasn't going to party. I wasn't going to do any of the stuff that I was doing until I got to 200 pounds. So I was going to stay committed. I had to stay committed to that. So I made a decision. I set a goal, and then I took responsibility. I showed the fuck up. What really ended up happening is during that processes, my mindset started to shift. As I started to gain strength, my weight started to come down. I started to get stronger. You know what I mean? And then it opened up a whole different fucking belief system of what was going on. So all men need to make a decision. And when you make that decision, you have to commit. And my word to myself was I had to prove that I wasn't no fucking quitter no more. I wasn't going to allow anything to stop me. And believe me, in this fucking past 1,007 days now, I've literally been through absolutely anything you can think of except dying myself. We're talking injuries, homies dying, being sick, family accidents, splitting up from the mother of my children. You know what I mean? You name it, I've been through it, and I still haven't missed a fucking day because the most important thing you'll ever learn about your journey of self-love is not quitting on yourself. And you have to realize this, I also overcame addiction.
Yeah.
2 days before I fucking walked into that gym, man, I sniffed a half ounce of cocaine, man. I did 2 tanks of gas and I was drinking. So like, I'm smoking, I'm doing it. I quit everything. That was it. So that was my rehab. That was me committing to myself and saying, no more of this bullshit. I'm not going to die no more. I don't want to die no more. I'm going to commit to this change. I'm going to be a man of my word because I preach to everybody. Hey, be a man of your word. Don't be a bitch, right? Well, it was time for me to prove it. You know what I mean? It was time to prove it to myself and to the people around me that I can handle it like a man.
Yeah, and I admire that so much, Bear, because like even with this brand that I'm creating and trying to do, like I used to talk a lot openly, make videos about my recovery, and especially when I was in treatment and all these different things, and then and I thought I was disciplined in a lot of ways until I met you and Nate and Chris and all the boys in Fly Straight. Shout out to them. But you're right. You can't quit on yourself. So I've been more shy, and I'm good with being vulnerable about this. I'm shy about making those videos more, because I feel like there's more I could be doing. And it's just I admire that you're just like, because not everybody has like that. You're a 1%er in that way. In a lot, you know what I mean? Like just to commit and stay there. So many of us tap out, right?
Yeah, I guess
And
fear takes over, man, and self-doubt takes over. But I truly believe that when you're tired of your own shit, when you're truly ready to throw in the fucking towel and say, okay, man, if you want to talk to God, say, man, I'm throwing in the towel, man. That's it. You know what I mean? I surrender. I'm not fighting you no more. Right?
yeah,
It's time for me to like, my way's not working. A lot of times I ask people, you know, they say they got it going on or they're struggling or doing whatever you're doing. I ask them, how's your method working?
right? The four pillars, right? And what are the four pillars, man?
So I've learned through my journey, I met my mentor, my coach that I work with, and he's a high value man coach, and I work under him and
Yeah, because you moved from Nate, started the Fly Straight, and now you have Fit Beard.
yeah, so I was with Nate, me and Nate trained, and then during that time I met my coach Aaron and he sent me a video about what passivity is.
Yeah,
And what it has on the effect of the man. And it hit me so fucking hard. I needed to know. I was like, it was like a light bulb went off. I'm like, holy fuck, I need to know what this is because I've been living my life this way, and he knows. He's speaking to me. So I had a conversation with him right away. I didn't have much money, you know what I mean, and I had to remember, guys. I was spending about $10,000 to $15,000 a month on booze and alcohol, right?
yeah. I was really curious about that.
And
You guys,
and
how did you survive? That's what I. How do you do? How did you not? How does your heart not explode, Bear?
and I've been doing this for like 18, 19 years. I mean, everybody around me is like, buddy, you were going hard. I went hard in the paint. Everything I do, I go hard in the paint. As you can tell, I've gone 1,007 days straight. When I commit, I commit, so
Well, and quickly on that 1,000th day, this dude decides he's going to do 100K on the Stanley Park seawall. So that's 10. That's 10 laps.
well, I did it's 5 laps total.
So you did 80, right?
I did 80, and then my toenails are falling off right now from it still. So
He's a David Goggins. Sorry, I cut you off, buddy, but you're doing that. When I hear people say they've done that much, like when I hear people say the amount of drugs they've done, I'm shocked that they don't die. How, and you still look good.
my mind, I'm about to die, man. That's the one thing I realized about myself is I'll fight. I'll fight to the end. So it's an interesting thing after I met my coach though, Aaron, and,
Yeah,
and he operated off this system. It made much sense to me. So when I coach men the same system. We work off the 4 pillars: your faith, your fitness, your family, and your finances. And it's the blueprint to keep your a man in his masculine self, right? If you can remove all the distractions, you can focus in your faith, whatever that may mean to you. If you got to go to church, you got to read a Bible, you got to meditate, you got to journal. What are you going to do for the next 90 days that's going to build the faith in your ability, right? Then your fitness. What are you doing to yourself? Or you need to lose 15, 20 pounds, 100 pounds, you want to gain some muscle. How are you building strength to have the courage to have the the competence to be able to handle life's challenges, right? And your family, what kind of man are you? If you're single, are you married? Are you a father? How are you improving the people you love? How are you improving yourself and your finances? That's pretty clear, man. How you make an impact on the world, right? How we know that if you attain more money, you're going to be able to make more financial freedom for yourself and make an impact on the world around you. So how are you improving every 90 days? And you rinse and repeat. But through that process, we also learn another system. And this is what we coach men on it, is your vision, your values, your victories, vices, okay, your voice, and then your vocation. So how that works is you got to get clear on your vision. You got to define your core values. You got to stack consistent victories to overcome your vices. And when you do that, you build your voice. This is how you speak to the world, speak to yourself. And when you can do that, you can reach your vocation, which is your purpose. So you attain that by focusing in the 4 pillars.
Yeah. And what do you think the biggest thing holds? What is like one of the number one things that holds us back from reaching our potential? Like, what is it, do you think?
Fear and doubt.
Fear and doubt.
I believe that most people fear losing who they are.
So this is what I'm wrestling with. I'm now realizing that the more breath, like with the breath work and everything, I literally am pulling away from an old personality. Like it's so strange. Like you're just getting rid of and you're moving into the new, you're shedding skin. And that's a difficult process for a lot of people, right? They're getting rid of friends. They're getting rid of because it comforts. Some of this discipline is pretty intense, right?
Well, you got to be disciplined in life. If you want to reach your vision, you want to build your dream, if you want to attain anything in your life, you're going to have to give up something.
You're going to have to sacrifice.
Right. And what really has happened is if anybody's grown up and we've all got a story, our perspective truly matters because we have a unique life. And when we can find our strength to share with the world, we can spark the brain of the next man who will, do the same thing for the next man. What ends up happening though is if you don't start the process of finding out who you are, we forget who we are, around 10, 12 years old.
Right.
If you ask yourself the question, who are you? Can you answer that?
Not me personally right now.
Not really. Then you need to start your journey of figuring out who the fuck you are. Right. And you can only do that by eliminating all the distractions in your life. And that could be family, that could be friends, that could be, drugs, that could be watching TV. It doesn't matter what it is you have to find yourself in yourself and connect to yourself at the highest level so that you can really start to become the man you need to be. And you can only do that by following each one of these steps. And fitness is the gateway to that. It starts all that because it builds the confidence and competence to be able to challenge yourself in all the areas in life that's going to start to come at you if you eliminate all the distractions.
So what if you're like Jaimen though, and I know that he does Jaimen doesn't want to go to the gym necessarily. So what fitness could we do? And we could do.
Well, when you elaborated upon
go ahead, Jay.
The 4 pillars, yeah, because when you mentioned the 4 pillars, like as they are, that doesn't quite apply to me because I'm not a person who has family. My financial situation is comfortable where it's at. Fitness, yeah, no inclination to go to the gym, but I think you kind of elaborated that on like finding your wellness, just making sure you're well, and that can mean different things to different people. But if you want to explain a little more.
Well, here's what I would ask on this is,
Yeah,
family, if you don't have family means connecting to yourself as well.
yeah.
Are you connecting to yourself or your higher self? Are you treating yourself on dates? Are you becoming the best version of yourself on your own?
Oh, definitely.
You do that?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so then how are you improving that? So if you've hit the pinnacle,
No, you never hit the pinnacle.
so then that's what I'm saying though, is that in those pillars, it's about setting goals.
Yeah.
Every 90 days. How do I improve?
Right.
How do I become better? Because if you're just fine with sitting still, cool, man.
Mm.
If you're fine, if you have the answers, if you figured it all out, then you would be at the pinnacle of each one of those phases.
Right.
You'd be teaching, coaching, you'd be helping, you'd be making an impact. If you're not, and you're fine with not doing that, that's cool.
Oh, and for me, it's a different definition. So, like family would for me, my friends, my community, the people, that I surround. So I have
That's
family.
family.
Yes, exactly. But some
Yeah, that's
people
family.
in
So
that
how are you
traditional
improving your
sense,
family?
right?
How are you improving that section, right?
Oh, yeah. Just, building that sort of bond, more communication, more open communication,
There we go.
being there
Jaimen,
to listen.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, he
and
catches the one thing about Jaimen is he catches all of his friends. Like
yeah,
he's there to catch them. Like
that's
there's a
great.
lot of people we know that are pretty broken, pretty, and but I will say Jay for sure, like he's his pad there. He's there to catch his
yeah.
friends.
Catching
If people
you.
are down and out, they can always reach out to me. If people have a creative project they need some assistance on, they know I'm the guy to call. So yeah,
But
that's
he's
the way I
not
try
getting in
to.
the cold plunge.
Yeah.
He won't be getting in the cold plunge.
Right, right. But at the same time, like fitness, I get out. I go, hikes, walking, kayaking. I make sure every day that I get out, at least for a little bit, to walk around. It doesn't mean going to the gym, right? So, like you said, it's a little bit different for everybody.
It's setting attainable goals to make yourself better.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you focus on those four pillars, you're going to be less distracted in life.
Which is what, and that's so funny, Bear, because I honestly think like God or what I believe to be as God set Chris. Shout out to Chris Hebert. He introduced me to this group and to you at a time where I thought I was Mr. Slay of the day, and like I thought I was doing a lot of stuff, and I am quite far. I'm doing a lot better, man, than my past for sure. But once I got involved with this group, I started to really start compartmentalizing and really understanding some things. And I'm one of those guys that wants to be the coach that wants to take it so far. But what I've noticed, the word distraction, you're right, because there was a lot of time there where I was isolated. There was no distraction. I was trying to figure it all out. And now, now the distractions are popping up like crazy. Like my life is so full of things to do now. Whereas before, when I was an addict, man, I was fired from all my relationships. I had nobody wanted to hang out. I was isolated so bad, sitting in alleyways, listening to heavy metal, drinking vodka, all day. And now it's where I've got so much. But what I'm saying is the distraction is really there. And
Mhm.
I battle with it. I want to stay consistent, early bedtimes, up early. Like I love that. But I think there's a balance. Somehow you're able to have a pretty busy life and stay just rock fucking solid, right? So
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a busy dude. I run businesses. I'm a father. I'm in a motorcycle club, and I still obtain, friends, family, the whole works. I've made the decision to better my life and not live in a world of chaos. And through that, I work out of the four pillars.
Mm.
yeah,
I
Yeah,
think
and
it's
I guess it's like with the distractions, kind of supplementing positive distractions rather than negative, like filling your day with positive things. Like you can't get distracted by the negative if you're running a business, at the gym, out doing this, if you have a busy
that's
schedule. Um,
one things that can happen though is if you overwork yourself with business and all that stuff, that also can be a distraction.
yes, it
Right?
can be too much. You have to make sure to take
You can
breaks.
overload yourself on purpose, so you're
Yeah,
not doing the work that needs to be done.
that's true. Yes, that can
So
become a negative
it's
distraction.
understanding. That's what I mean. Is understanding that it's if what you're doing, you have to define what you're doing, what your goals are.
Hmm.
What are you trying to achieve? What is your vision? Do you even have a vision? What is your 2 to 5 year vision from today? If it's to be in the same position you are today, great, cool, man. Keep it moving. I'm moving on, right? Because I've got a vision that I want to attain, and I'm going to surround myself with people that have a clear vision of what they want to attain in 2 to 5 years from now. That's going to change in two to
I
five
was
years
just
from
gonna
now
ask
because
you,
I'm
yeah,
trying to make
like
an
what
impact. I'm trying to
two to
do
five.
something. I'm trying to obtain finances. I'm trying to build a family. I'm trying to stay strong and fit to live a long life. And I'm trying to connect myself to the highest version of myself on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to surround myself around like-minded people who are making progress every single day.
And that helps as
Right.
well. Surrounding yourself with, yeah.
It's the
Well,
most
that,
important tool, man. It's why I
yeah.
can fly straight, because one of the things that I've noticed and coaching, and I don't work with women, I only coach men. The only thing, the one of the biggest things that I've learned is that all men need a mentor, someone that can hold us accountable, give us the wisdom that we need. Yes, coach. Okay, I'm gonna go do it. Right? Learn. All men need other men in the trenches with them, learning, growing, figuring shit out together, talking, communicating. And all men need to be mentoring other men. If you can get in that alignment, right, you're going to have a better opportunity to sit in your true masculine energy. And through that, you're going to start to learn how to become a better man through the company of other men. Men need men for growth, and it's that simple. So I created Fly Straight to be able to give a safe place for men to learn the wisdoms from each other, the tools that work, a safe place to communicate and be vulnerable, to ask for help. You know what I mean? Where we all can just gel and just really start to grow. I felt that was lacking, even in the world that I'm from.
Yeah.
How I grew up, man. I grew up around a bunch of gangsters, man. So you follow big bro. Big bro says do this. Okay, big bro, I'm gonna do it. Well, it doesn't matter if it was good or bad. You just did it. You know what I'm saying? So now we're gonna flip the script and put some positiveness to it, to where you're bettering yourself. You're becoming stronger in all those areas that you want to focus on.
Yeah, I mean that and living that lifestyle is tricky, right? Like to try to, go to try to be a better person in that environment is challenging sometimes, right?
It's challenging in not even that environment. I mean, here's the thing: if you're a recovering alcoholic and you want to go have a beer, or you're going to go have a burger with your buddies and they're going to have beers, doesn't matter what environment you're in.
Roger that.
Doesn't matter. We're all in the same.
Mhm.
All the distractions and all the pleasures in life are around us, just pumping in our face all day, every
Yeah.
day, right? It's your decision. It's up to you to decide if you want to continue living that life, be the man that you say you are, right? And actually start making an impact for yourself. And as you do that, you're going to make an impact for the people around you, because you're elevating yourself to the highest version of yourself. Distractions, it doesn't matter if you're in the underworld, if you're just a normal civilian. I don't give a shit where you are.
Yeah.
All these distractions are around us at all times. It's your decision to either follow or lead.
Yeah, and I love that. And Jaimen brought up a good point too. So like it's just these distractions are fucking relentless. They just come at you like all the time. And I just noticed like the more you the I noticed when the harder I try, the more it seems distractions come. And as Jaimen had pointed out too, it just, that's the key, is that get the fly straight mindset. It's the four pillars. It's staying in that all those habitual, that routine, and it just solidifies it and makes it easier to avoid the catastrophe, drinking, benders. It's because none of that shit leads anywhere. We know that. Like, I mean, I guess I would say I believe there's a time in someone's life when they're young. I mean, ideally you wouldn't want to do drugs and party your life away, but I mean there's a time for that. But as we get older, it's a bummer to see someone that's like 45 or 50 just wasted, throwing their lives away, kind of still doing the same thing, and
Yeah.
the vices they're not, it's just not good. Like it's not worth it. Like it's quality of life, right?
We all have to make a decision, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I was the guy that was going to party till I was 80. I mean,
Parties.
I wasn't going to give it up, man, and I had that mindset. But there comes a point in your life where you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to live or are you going to die, man? And are you going to live in misery and be angry and do all these things? You're going to be a victim. You're going to allow people to control you. Are you going to be a people pleaser? What the fuck are you going to do here? Are you chasing your tail or are you leading yourself? You got to ask yourself these questions. And a big thing for me as a father, I'm looking down on my kids.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of man are you if you're not leading? You got to ask yourself these things, right?
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, it's up to the individual to decide who they want to be and what they want to achieve, and what kind of impact they want to make on this world when their time comes up. How do they want to be remembered? And hey, man, if you're fine just living life in monotone level, cool, man. You know, my viewpoint is it's our duty as men to become the best version of ourselves because men need to be strong for the world right now. My children need it, and
Great house.
if you guys are fathers or not or plan to be fathers, you're going to understand what I'm saying right now. Our children need men to lead right now. It's our duty. So if you're not doing your duty as a man right now, well, move. You know what I mean? Because I'm coming through like a freight train, and you're gonna get the fuck out of my way. You're gonna side up with me, and we're gonna make an impact together. We're gonna do something really strong and powerful together because we're thinking in the right way. We're trying to make an impact. We're trying to help people. We're trying to better the world that we're in, not trying to make it worse.
Yeah, and I mean, in this day and age, with all the distractions and it's the craziest. It's a hard time to be alive. Like we're so even like for me as an ADHD, it's just whoa, like learning to turn it into a superpower. But everything is a distracting. Everything is so distracting, and it's harder now than
One
ever.
thing you realize though is when you go on your journey and you start these things, you got to remember you asked for it. So, okay, I wanted this. Guess what's going to happen? Everything's going to be thrown at you. You're going to be tested in everything that's you want in your life. You're going to be tested because you said you wanted it. So you're going to have to earn it. The universe doesn't hand you a present and say, "Here you go, man. You asked for it. You got it now. You get to run with it. You get all the fruits of life."
Here's the number one podcast. Good luck.
Here you go. Right? Like you got to earn this shit. You got to put the work in. You got to understand each lesson so that you can become better. And you don't just get the end result with no work.
And it's relentless. It is relentless work, and it's lonely.
It's great work. I mean, nothing comes easy, but when you put the work in, it's rewarding.
It is rewarding. Yeah, yeah. The work is rewarding. I mean, but like, what I was just thinking is, I mean, you're an intense character. You were able to get on your journey, just like that, and do that. But what about somebody who's really struggling to take that first step? And they just really don't feel that they can get that sort of momentum going from dead stop, from somebody who is just sitting there, but they don't want to anymore. And they're at a dead stop and they want to just start getting the wheels moving.
I was 320 pounds sniffing, 2 to 3 ounces of cocaine a month for doing nitrous gas and drinking more than anybody. So if anyone was stuck, I was stuck too. So what the fuck's your excuse?
Yeah, no, it's just one. Yeah. That's
no, I'm being 100% completely honest. Anybody that comes to me says anything around those lines, I think the most powerful people in the world are people got to lose 200, 300, 400 pounds. When those people lose that kind of weight, man, you don't even understand the power that they possess, the things that they had to battle, the shame, the guilt, the struggle, to move. It's difficult to even speak, to breathe. It's difficult. So I was there. I was 320 pounds. I couldn't tie my shoes. I was stuck. So if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, man, I don't know how to do this. I'm stuck. I don't know how to get moved." Do you want to live? How's
Start
death?
walking.
How's death going to come your way? How do you feel with death coming? You fine with that? Do you want to live a little? Do you want to see more of the world? Do you want to see your mom? Do you what's going on here, right? Because you have to understand that you're not the only one that's going through it. And if I can do it, if one man can, another man can. And so, to be honest with you, when I look at someone I say this with the most love I possibly can say it, don't be a bitch.
Yeah, no, for sure, fair.
And that's true, man. In our chat, it's like and that's what I love about. I'm gonna say, like, being in Adam's chat. Here's something I'll say: I lacked a lot of masculinity. Okay, I was raised by a single mother, put in foster care at 7 years old. My biological dad is an addict. I haven't seen him in 20 years. I have an adopted dad who's a rock and roll metal guy, but he's also from a single mother. He's got his own set of issues. As I grow up and get older and work on all this stuff, I see his issues too. And being in the Fly Straight group, it's not toxic masculinity. It's fucking soldiers, man. Fucking in the trenches. You don't check in for a couple days, or if you say you're going to do something, they'll reach out to you. And I've just noticed that for me personally, like, it just being more just not lacking that masculine energy. Like, it's healthy. It's like really healthy. And in the chat, they do say that, like, "Come on, bitch, like, get it together. And at first you're like, that's a bit abrasive, but and then,
Listen,
but after
at
a
the end of the day,
while, it's a fucking love language, man. It's a love
it
language.
is.
Like
It
it's a
is. It
fucking
is.
love language.
It
And
is.
Nate, like you got like Nate's a fucking very respectful, like he's a very awesome dude. So these high value men are calling you bitch and they're reaching out and they're hounding you. It's just it's a really cool love language.
You know why though? Do you know why though? Because at the end of the day, each one of us have lived through life and we've hit a pinnacle, we've hit a point in our life where we know we could be better, but our own doubt, fear, shame, guilt, whatever it may be, is stopping us. It's because we've never had somebody to grab us that say, "Hey man, I know you can be fucking
Yeah,
better.
exactly.
Stop being a little bitch. Let's do this. I'll show you. Follow my lead.
And
Step
that's
by step, follow my lead. We'll do that. I'll stand beside you. I'll stand there, dude, and I'll grind it out with you, no matter what. Because I've been there. Big bro's been there. You know what I mean? Other homies been there. We together we're strong, brothers. You got to understand that. We together are stronger than an individual. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're having a struggle with something and some guy's actually reaping on you, it's because he respects you. He can see something in you don't see in yourself. So we're trying to get it out of you. We're trying to pull that shit out of you.
exactly.
We're trying to eliminate the actual bitch that's in there and turn you into
Yeah.
a real man. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're trying to do, you know, and we all need that. Men don't need to be fucking, like
Coddled.
we no, we need hugs. We need hugs from other men to teach us how to be real men.
Yes.
But we also need the guy to be like, hey man, step it up. You're being soft right
100%.
now. You're being a little bit too much. You're like a little girl right now. It's time to step up, right? You need to push. Do a couple more push-ups. Do a couple more pull-ups. Eat the right food. Like snap out of it. You can do this. You can be better. Be more disciplined. We are the way we were because we didn't have that character in our life to push us,
We
right?
had enablers, man. Like
Missing that.
what's that?
We were missing that, you know. So we
Yeah,
can
and
do it with each other now.
it goes back to the who you surround yourself with. So like I mean, I had a lot of cool friends, and like I said, I mean, in my 20s, early 30s, there was a lot of fun hanging out with certain people. But after a while, like getting drunk and not having people like encourage you. You got guys getting drunk with you, staying up, doing coke, whatever, enabling, right? And then to have a tribe of men that are like, not everybody gets that, right? Not everyone's gonna get that.
Yeah, I'm trying to give it to as many men as I possibly can. I truly believe that it's our duty, man. It's our duty to hey, I may start now. There's a man that started his journey before me, and I started before the next man. Next man's gonna come. But when you're ready to actually face the man in the mirror and become the best person you possibly can be, right? And really make a statement for yourself and then the world around you. Hey man, I'll walk with you. I'll stand right next to you. I'll do it with you. If I got to push you up the hill, I will. You know what I mean? Because I know you're going to do the right thing and become better because we all need it, man. We all need to become better. We can all improve. You know what I mean? It's when you're not improving and hanging around a bunch of people that are just fine, staying the same and doing the same bullshit and talking about the same crap and not evolving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That gets boring, man. That gets lost. You know, no one likes that kind of shit.
Yeah. So Fly Straight group is there for yeah, it's there for us to walk together as soldiers and fucking and be accountable because that's what you need. We need a fucking tribe 100%. I'm with you on that. And then
The tribe's everything, man. One of the things when I started this is I was looking for help and I've battled a lot of things myself, and I wanted to give a place for men to go that was safe where they can ask for help, whether if it's drugs and alcohol abuse, sexual abuse, if they need counseling, whatever they want to be. I want to create a place that's like a resource center because when
yeah,
you start to look, there's not much there. Now you're starting to see them really pop up, but you know, I once again I truly believe fitness is the gateway to self-mastery. If you want to leapfrog your growth, get fit, build that strength, get that body that you want to attain and be able to challenge yourself, if that's doing a marathon or lifting weights or gaining muscle, whatever it may be, that's going to build the man, build that frame so that you can handle more in life. That's going to fast track you in all these areas you need to go in. So it's fitness is the gateway, man.
and it's been that. So for me, it's been the hardest one. Like I have no excuse. I'm 6'4". I have a great frame. Like my body is built to have muscle on it. and I do all this research. I read the books. I do the podcast. I got my brand. I got doing all these different things. Everything is moving really well forward. My brand, the band, it's actually scaring me a little bit because it's just the work, the fruits of my labor are flowering. But the fitness for me, for fuck's sakes, is and in keeping on track with that is that's my next. Like, I've been on and off fitness for a very long time. Like, I'm not obese or anything, but that has been the biggest challenge, and that is like that is like the on the forefront of my. It's what I want to conquer next. Like, I just, for once and for fucking all, just get that fucking frame on track, because I know when I'm in the gym how good I feel when I'm up early in the morning. I do my breath work. I get my proper breakfast in. I get to the gym. I go to Fitness Unlimited. Shout out to all the people at Fitness Unlimited. There's a killer community. Fist bumps. You don't even have to say words to someone. They just see you in the gym. It's a fist bump, and you're training, and it's not some, over the top, like, crazy. It's all pretty much. It's all, your average person training, but the vibe's good. You always feel better when you leave there, when you train in the morning. I mean, it's just, but for me, I slide back a lot, and I hate that. I just hate sliding back, and that's one thing I admire about you so much, and get frustrated even sometimes. I'm like, fucking guy, just, there's that pick again. There's that pick every morning. There's Bear's pick. He's at the fucking gym.
I just made the decision to commit. There's one thing in my life that's going to hold me accountable, and that's waking up and getting active. If that's going for a 10K, 20K walk, lifting weights, whatever my scheduling is, and yeah, usually I push myself really hard, once a week at least. I walk a lot, I lift weights, but it's giving yourself the one thing that you're not going to break from, and then if you're disciplined in that, if you can keep your word to one thing, then the rest of those things will start to come. You can start to stack more on top. And it's really interesting. You're talking about fitness, everything else goes well. One of the brothers in the group, he runs a big company, got a lot of employees under him. And he came and started the walk with me last Tuesday, and we were talking, and he was saying that in business, what would happen is his business would start to come down, and he would like initially want to jump in there and fix his business. He all his time would go into it, but then his family would start to, his time with his family would start to slip because he's trying to fix that one part of his business. And then as that's happening, he becomes the worst shape he's in. He's not physically he's in the worst shape, and then all of a sudden his mentality starts to go. His mindset starts to shift on. Now he's all fucked up. And the one thing that he learned on this last time where his company was going down, not down, but like there's just issues he needs to fix. He realized that the company will be able to fix it. It will fix itself. It's going to take a little bit longer, but the most important thing that he realized now is his mental and physical health has to be number one. Those two things start to slip, everything else will start to slip. You think you can go fix your business and all this other stuff, but you matter. What are you going to do if you're not mentally and physically sound? When you start to stack all these things that you want to achieve in life, run the successful business, make the money, have the people, be able to conversate. What do you think is going to happen when you run out of energy, man?
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen when your mentality starts to go and life hits you? Your aunt dies, your dog dies, all this other stuff. How are you going to be able to handle your business and all these other things that you're trying to do if you don't take care of yourself?
Drugs and booze, Bear. Okay.
Yeah, 100%, man. But if you don't start to learn how to fill your cup up first so it overfills to the world around you, you're going to always run on an empty cup.
Yes.
And you're no good. You're no good running on an empty cup.
And I've always found that when the tank is completely empty, it's so much harder to refill it than when you're refilling from halfway or even from a quarter,
So it's better to be running with something in there than nothing, right?
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your brain needs glucose, and your brain needs nutrition to function cognitively. Like you got to be. And I noticed that if I don't eat all day or I miss meals, I'm out of energy, man. Like it really is. The nutrition and the fitness are the foundation, 100%.
It's the foundation. And here's the thing: is I get really interesting conversations. For a lot of people, fitness is that's the pinnacle, right? I'm gonna build this. I'm gonna be a muscle man. I'm gonna do it. That's where it tops. For me, that's the building block. Right? I'm not saying you got to go be Hulk Hogan. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you got to be able to be fit enough to be able to handle any situation life brings you. So,
I'm more an Ultimate Warrior Bret Hart guy, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
if that's what your goal is, hey man, reach your goal. Do that. For me personally, it's about being ready for any situation life brings me. That's either to protect my family, that's to be able to run a marathon, to climb a mountain, to be able to pick up a motorcycle if my brother goes down to save him. That means it doesn't matter what situation I'm in, I'm physically and mentally ready to handle it. You know what I mean? That's my goal. That's how I operate. That's why I train every single day, because at any moment in time, something in life can knock on your door. And if you're not ready, how are you
Yeah,
gonna
I
have
heard Goggins, something that hit me like burned into my memory was when Goggins was on a podcast. This was like a couple of years ago, but he's like, he's like, motherfucker, I'm already mentally preparing for when my mom dies. When my mom dies, he's like already thinking about that. He's like, I'm preparing to be able to deal with that.
yeah, you got to get yourself ready, man. And but
That's crazy.
that's not where it ends though. That's the
No.
beginning, man. That's
Yeah.
that's truly the beginning, because if you're not mentally and physically sound, how are you going to really elevate the other areas in your life? It's only going to become harder because you're
So
stacking
that's
up. So you
so
have to
that's what
be
I'm
physically and
saying
mentally
right
sound.
now. Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry, that's what I'm saying right now is that right now that my band is coming together. Like all these things are all happening, and I'm having a hard time keeping up because my nutrition and my fitness need to fucking get better. That is a fucking stone cold fact. But now I'm in a situation where I'm like, oh, I'm up late. Oh, I'm gonna sleep. It's just I gotta get. That's what I notice is happening. Like I could keep up to this. I'm one of those people that, oh, I've got 3 jobs, 2 bands. Let's get it. We'll do another. Let's throw another job on there. Like I'm one of those people. I need to dial it back a bit, but for sure, man.
See,
Like
here's the thing, once again, is over distracting yourself on purpose to hide away from the facts that you need to get physically and
Yeah,
mentally
yeah.
sound.
Yes.
Okay. So
Keeping
work,
projects on the plate.
overloading work and all that stuff
Yeah.
is a vice. It is a
Hmm.
distraction, right? So that's why we have to operate on the 4 pillars. Because if you got belief in yourself, you're physically sound, you're working on yourself, your community, your loved ones, your friends, your family. You're making the world around you better, and then you're working on your businesses as well. You're making an impact in the world. You're achieving the goals that you want to achieve. You're buying the houses, traveling, wherever the fuck it may be. Hey, man, it starts with belief and fitness, man. You know what I mean? Then you
and
can start
that's
to track.
and beliefs and like I'm not ashamed to say right here on the podcast that I swear to I think I was visited by my higher power about a month or so ago when I started doing the breath work like you suggested, and I've seen God work in strange ways, very synchron. I call it the great synchronistic algorithm. People might think I'm crazy, but the way people come into your life, the way things are said, people, places, things, and the way they interact with you when you are on your true north path. It's super, super, super weird. I mean, some people will be like, "Ah, oh, it's coincidence," or like whatever. I choose to believe that it's God speaking to me, man. Like I just believe it. And I remember, and I did breath work there to calm down my nervous system, and something came down behind me, and just was like right, like to my right, and and I started. I messaged you, Bear, crying. Like I was bawling my eyes out. Like as this thing came down, it was just like you're loved. Chill out. You're good. Like you're loved. You're a lovable being. I love you. And I was it was wild. Like and then I haven't had that same experience again with the breath work, but I do like the faith. I'm it's real. Yeah, I
I
believe
love
it.
it. I love when men have light bulb moments and they realize like, hey man, this did it for me, man, and now I know what I need to do. I'm gonna become better, and I love it even more when they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're like, fuck, I should be doing this. I should be
Yes.
better. You know what I mean? Because it's like now they're thinking, because maybe a year or two before that, that wasn't even a fucking thought in their head. They were just roller coasting through life, man, with no encouragement, no belief, no value. They're just walking. They're just there. You know what I'm saying? But now when your conscience is calling, you're like, fuck, man, I should be eating better. I should try to get to bed. I got, you know what I mean? That means you're a thinker now. You know you got to
Oh,
do better. And that's
that
that's
voice.
that's our that's our goal as all as men is to hold each other accountable, to be the lighthouse, to be the person that see you're like, fuck, man, that guy's shining bright. I want to shine like him, man. What is he doing? You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
our
and I
duty,
noticed that
man.
sharing that on my socials because I was really sharing my recovery journey, and that's what sparked kind of all this. And I was really sharing a lot of my recovery journey and everything for a while there, especially when I was in treatment. And people really were reaching out, like, you're really inspiring. Like, uh, you know, it's I think that was something I wanted to get back to as well as just I think as a recovery, someone who's still in the process, same with you. I think it's our duty. I mean, even Wes Watson says this, that we have it's our duty to talk about it and recover loudly. It's our duty to slay the day, to fly straight, to be the lighthouse and inspire people and not use Facebook to fucking spread rhetoric and nonsense. It's there to empower people and inspire them, right? And for sure, once you open Pandora's box, though, man, and you're not doing stuff, I get that all the time. It's like, fuck, I got to do this more.
We
I do
all
this.
have it, bro. I have
Yeah,
it too. Like, fuck,
yeah,
man, we all got it, man. And that's why
Is
you
that
need.
mental illness or?
But that's the even more reason why you need a tribe.
Oh
You
yeah,
need others around you, man, because we all go through seasons, man. We're all gonna go through different seasons where life is either we're winning or we're losing, right? And
we're
it's
learning, winning
disciplines
or
and our
learning.
foundations that we've stacked up and built that is going to either push us through that season, right, or falter back. And when you have your brothers that are holding you accountable and the people around you to push you through, there's always that reminder, like, fuck, homie's doing it good right now, man. Okay, I got to go do some more push-ups right now. I'm being a little bitch, or like, hey, man, like, hey, when he comes up and says, hey, I had a great conversation with a father I never spoke to in 20 years, and opens up and be vulnerable, like, fuck, man, I need to talk to my dad too. These are powerful things that happen.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And if one man's not stepping into the light and sharing it, hey, man, I always say that it's our duty to share our perspective because it's unique to ourselves, but we also have the ability to spark the next man's brain up. Your way of speaking, my way of speaking, could be the same message, but the way we speak it could spark another person's brain differently. And it could be the reason why they go, fuck, I needed to hear that. Now I'm going to go do something about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Sitting in silence doing nothing is not doing anything. You know what I mean? It's not
yeah.
helping nobody.
I can't think. I can. I just like the amount of things I've heard at an AA meeting or just on the internet through Instagram through all the same type of stuff that we follow, Bear, like just little pieces of wisdom, like just whoa, like a
Yeah.
quote or something. You're like, and it just that you're like, that's crazy. I got one of my favorites is from Seneca from the Stoics, and I think the whole world suffers from this, but we suffer more in imagination than we do in reality. Like we suffer 90% of the time, we're suffering for no reason. We're overthinking everything, right?
Presence is everything. And our goal is to find a way to be as present as possible, to not worry about the past because the past is done. We can't control it. Our, to live in the moment and focus on our vision. So if we focus on a vision, we can't see behind us. You know what I mean? So we got to attain these goals and focus on something in front of us, and use our faith and use our ability to see things and to build the strength to try to achieve them. You know what I mean? And then we're not going to live in this little stuck barrel, in the devil's brew, just marinating and shit. You know what I mean? Like it's that's no way of living a life, man.
Yeah, and the pattern always repeats, man. I can tell you that from trying to experiment with all kinds of shit. Like just like, no, I can do this. Is the pattern always fucking repeats itself. You go drink, you go do coke, you do this, you do that. It always comes back to the same place that you're in the devil's brew, man. You're like it just there's I don't know. I just think there's people that can kind of drink like Jaimen. He's like he has a or what like he has a rule that he sticks to. He's one of those people, super strange for people like you and me. A lot of people out there just the pattern will repeat, and I think that even goes for just the discipline pattern because it all repeats if you don't
I'm
keep
I'm,
them.
I'm a big believer in this. When's the last time you actually been bone sober?
like during the day, I am, but you know,
So, so
but
this this
evenings are different.
this is what I get to is I believe, hey, if you can get yourself bone fucking sober, free
Yeah.
from all distractions,
Great
so
edge.
your mind is not clouded by anything. You are able to sit in your own mind, not be able to fucking reach for anything to distract you from it. Be able to really free yourself so you can actually hear the silence in your brain that's going to drive you fucking nuts. If you can do that and start to work on yourself and build that man first, if you can drink after that, great. Good on you. But if you plan to be able to give people advice and tell them what to do, but you've never been able to sit in the silence of your own mind, you're still just passing off that distraction. You're still talking nonsense. You're
Oh
still
yeah.
passing stuff that people don't want to hear because you yourself have never actually sat in silence of your own mind, free from all distractions.
I get what you're saying, but no, I truly enjoy sitting in the silence of my own mind. I spend a lot of
Crazy.
time there, and me and myself, we're good friends. So
Mhm.
I'm not the type of person who drinks to get away from myself. And
That's the difference, right?
and if I do find that that's why I have my rules. If I do find that my drinking is that's my line. Um,
What's the purpose of drinking then?
hmm. Uh, see that. I don't really know, you know? Like
Oh,
yeah, there's a comfort there. But
But what's the comfort?
yeah, it's when I'm working on creative projects, sometimes I like to have a drink with me while I'm working on it. So it's like
Is your mind more free? Are you actually more creative or are you buzzing? Like what's your
uh
living mood?
oh, yeah, like I find that it does help with the creativity. Like I know it's not for everybody. Like, I'm a writer and like I'll have some beers while I'm writing. I don't recommend, hey, get drunk and work on writing, but I don't get drunk. Like,
you don't get
it's always been
wasted.
a sort of tough sort of medium where it's just like I have my drinks with me in the evening. I drink most every evening. So yes, but
You drink alcohol every evening.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah.
Interesting. How
But I
many
mean,
do you drink every night,
Oh,
brother?
yeah. So it's like I am still, like I do admit, like I am an alcoholic in my own terms, but I have my own rules. I keep myself in check. So it's different, but it
I
still
would love
is.
to
I
see,
still drink every day.
I would truly love to see the power you could possess
Yeah.
free from all that.
See, and I
Because
find when I
because
take a week off, I end up sitting around just watching TV and I don't have the motivation to work on the creative projects in the same sort of way.
because you use the vices as the tool to get you going.
It assists. Yeah.
it's
And when I hear that, what I hear is because clearly I don't know you
Yeah,
from
yeah,
anything but today, but
yeah. We've just met.
hear,
Yeah.
what I can hear from you is clearly you have talents.
Mhm.
Clearly you have the ability to do certain things. I just don't think you understand your power that you truly have because you're still clouded. If you actually remove those things and challenge yourself to actually be what you can possibly be, you'd be surprised that your creativeness is even more powerful without that shit.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like for me, like more so it's like it's the weed that I find helps with my way of thinking. That there's too many thoughts. And so by smoking a joint or having a drink, now it shuts off some of the voices. I can focus on the ones that I want to focus on, and it helps quiet some of the others. So it's like I'm fine going through the day, and it's not like this is something that bothers me. It's not like I'm at work and like, man, I really need a beer. Never happened. But when I'm sitting down to be creative, I prefer to have one. But I'll still, I'll work on stuff during the day, and it doesn't mean I need to have a beer with me while I'm doing that. I still
Mhm.
follow my rules, but I can't fully say why. It's just, yeah, it's
Maybe you
part of it
should
is
ask yourself
routine.
why. Maybe with that creative mind that you have, maybe you should ask yourself why.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
You
I
know what I
have,
mean?
and
I
I
can
don't have
see
a
you
clear answer.
stirring. So you asked him that question. He's stirring a little bit,
Oh
right?
yeah,
So
I've never really had a clear
that's
answer,
cool.
and it's like what I have found is like I could take a week off and not have an issue, not like except for that it does affect my creativity. It's just like I'm fine, but I also just don't want to work on creative projects. I'll just
But you're also,
sit and watch TV.
but you're
It'll
sitting here
actually,
watching TV.
yeah, it'll separate me from that creative spark.
But there could be a hump there, like what there could be like a bit of a hump that you got to get over where you would, because you gotta imagine you've been drinking every day slightly for so long. Like,
Yeah.
Matt, if you did like 3 months, that just my suggestion for me, if it was me, I would go a month to 3 months to 3 months, sorry, to get a real clear
Yeah. Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
Because
And
maybe you'd go back into it naturally. Do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. Well, it was like post surgery on my wrist. I didn't drink for over a month.
How do you feel?
It didn't really affect anything, but I didn't, you know. But yeah, it didn't affect anything really. Like I didn't really have a change. I just found that I wasn't as motivated to sit down and work on my novels. I just felt a bit more blah, just in
And
general.
that's a weird thing amongst artists, though. Like I will say, like that artist people, like we're fucking strange, and like
Yeah.
and all substance abuse and art. Like I'm not saying it's an excuse. It's just I think it's product of suffering, merchants of emotion. It's I don't know. For me, I like what Barrett said about bone sober. Like if you can just be bone motherfucking sober and go talk to that girl, be bone motherfucking sober and go do that uncomfortable thing, be bone fucking sober and do hard shit. Like you're just gonna grow. Like that's for me and what I've noticed. And because I get nervous, but I purposely talk to, like, for example, in the lineup at the grocery store, I'll purposely talk to that pretty girl just to get practice. I'm not going to ask for a number. I'm just saying, but whatever hard thing that I can do, I try to do it, you
Yeah.
know?
We'll never
And that's,
know. We'll never know the true ability that we have until we eliminate all distractions and give an honest effort to see who we truly are
yeah.
without distractions. If you live life reaching for the distractions for a week, a month, whatever, I'm talking about completely eliminate it. See who you are. Give an honest effort. Get off the couch. Do the things you're supposed to do outside your comfort zone. You'll find out who you are real quick. But if you're just going to hold on to everything and say, you know what, I tried, but you didn't try, well.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that I've, tried to go cold sober because definitely like personally not there for that sort of decision. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've made the rules I've had to make because I, didn't like being drunk. I didn't like that sort of feeling, like as Garrett's saying, like the party scene, the whole like, wait a minute, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and all I'm doing is just getting more intoxicated. Like I'm not actually doing anything at this point. And I needed to get away from that for sure. So the rules really helped that, like big time. I much more creative, much more time for creativity, like as
I'll
opposed
argue.
to
I think I'll
intoxication.
argue, like,
Oh.
sorry, what was that?
Oh no, just yeah, just more time for creativity as opposed to just strictly intoxication. Like,
Yeah. And I would just say I would argue that that goes into the realm of harm reduction. And I think I'm more of the mindset that, yeah, clarity, 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 like for sure. And I think, but there are some people that are just like less, if they could just get to a point where like they're just less is good. That's an option too, because
yeah.
in some cases, I'm not talking about you
Oh yeah, yeah.
specifically, but
Because it's
yeah,
like I guess there's the other argument, like it's what I've argued is it's kind of like it's my meds. Some people are on meds for various reasons, for different things, for their, cognizance. And this has been the medication that has worked for me. You know, beer in the evenings, marijuana at other times keeps me balanced. But yeah, but I know what you mean. If it's like it's not a normal system, and it's not anything like what you're doing at all.
come to the Fly Street, buddy. Let's do some cold plunging. We'll go 3 months with nothing. Let's go.
Yes, yeah, I don't know. Don't think I could do that,
Well, I'll do it.
I,
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So, well, we can wrap this up kind of soon here,
I
but so again, I'm gonna re-ask you a question there. Barry, were you about to say something, buds?
was asking why. Why couldn't you do it?
Oh,
See, there's because I'm quite comfortable with where I'm at. I feel
Where
that
are you at?
my pillars personally where I want them to be and the strength that I want them to have, I'm quite happy with that right now. Like in all four categories. I feel like I'm fit enough to do the things I want to do. Like I don't feel like I'm, lethargic or drained or lacking energy. I've got a good circle of friends and people around me that I care deeply for. My financial situation is the comfortable situation for me. It pays my bills and allows me the free time to do my creative things. And faith, I mean, I've got a strong vision. I believe in myself fully. But it's a very different definition in all four of those categories you know, than it is for you. So yeah, no, it's just interesting because like you said, we're all individuals. We all kind of approach these things a little differently.
For sure, but you still hold on to the one thing of comfort and you don't know why.
Yeah, well, because what I've also found is people who eliminate that replace it with something else. And I'm more comfortable with this one right now than whatever it might be replaced with, be it caffeine or gym or some sort of something else. I'm okay with this. This is healthy for me.
Drinking alcohol every day is not healthy. Just
Oh,
so
no, no,
you
no. I'm not.
know. Like, you'll never convince me of that or the world that
Oh,
that's
no, 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 no. I'm not trying. It's healthy
that's,
for me. I'm not saying it's healthy. No, no,
but
no. I won't ever say that it's healthy.
it's not healthy for you, just so you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's
It's not. You know what I
We got
mean? Like we can bring doctors on board and they'll tell you that it's not healthy for you.
oh yeah, no, for sure.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So like, hey, brother, I'm not trying to pick on you or nothing
Oh
like that, but
no, I'm
you,
completely fine. Yeah, it's all
you want
good.
to bring logic, you want to bring logic to the table, bring logic to the table. You know what I'm saying? If
Mhm.
you want to speak truth, speak truth. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, drinking is not good for anybody if they drink every single day.
Oh
Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
no,
I
yeah,
don't care who you are. I don't care who you are, what you do for creativity. I don't give a shit about none of that. It's a known fact,
yeah,
right? And then and to you have to realize this is that when you as an individual who care about other people like you say you do,
yeah,
or saying that, hey, for me, drinking's good every single day, you got people that look up to you. And your drinking habit every single day, those people that look up to you are going to start following the leads that you do. What if your way of getting them to follow you leads them down a bad path? Are you loving them?
I don't see why what I'm doing. I don't recommend my path to others. Never have. My path's my own.
But you just said that you drink every single day because it helps you. So if someone thinks that method is going to work for them too, but then in 10 years from
No, I
now,
would
they end
never,
up dead,
I would never recommend that method for anybody.
then
And I've said that in the past many times. I always say, I don't ever tell anybody to live how I live.
then it's a good thing to take practice on leadership.
Yeah,
Right? You know what I mean? Because you can't answer the question of why you hold on to it.
yeah.
fair. That's totally fair. I love it. We had a little debate here. Good, because he's a bear. That's why they
Oh,
call him Bear.
all good.
I,
Yeah, yeah,
I, at the end of the day, it's what it is I can see the excuses. I can already can see the weakness in it, and at the end of the day, I can see that your ability to be able to be better and stronger for yourself and the people around you is highly there because you're opinionated man. You're confident man. You'll be able to speak your mind, and no matter what situation you are, but you're still holding on to comfort. You're still holding on to excuses, and then you don't realize that the impact that you have on the world around you, people do look up to you and they see you drinking every single day, so now they're going to think that that's okay for them to do whether you say it is or not. They're watching you, so it's you have more of an impact than you think you do. And I did too, and Garrett did too. We don't realize as leaders, as people, that we help out other people, and when we speak our truth, people listen and they
yeah.
watch everything that we do. And if we can't answer the simple questions of why we're holding on to it, right? You know what I mean? We're not doing our part as men.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. That's interesting. Well, Bear, this was, I'm gonna say, probably one of the best podcasts we've had so far. I'm really stoked that we're gonna that we did this. Like,
Oh yeah, I love the
um,
discussion. I think it was awesome. Like really great. In my
getting real, man. It's
yeah,
what it should be about. Like, because
yeah,
there's two polar opposites here, and I like it's interesting. Like in the
But
oh
sense
yeah,
of two different. I mean, in the sense you guys come from different worlds, so
oh
to
yeah,
see you
entirely.
talk
Yeah, and
on
I
common ground
you know,
is very interesting.
I've
me
But
always accepted my lifestyle, to be, open to attack. So I mean, it's and not that you're attacking it. Like I just, no, you know, I appreciate the angle you're coming from. Definitely, I understand. Yeah,
So then
Meaningful
you're
conversation is where it begins, man. If we
Yeah.
can't conversate about something,
Oh yeah, entirely. Yeah.
well, the whole reason why we're on here so that people can listen and be able to see and hear and make their own decisions and be able to help the best way we can. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and
exactly. Yeah.
this was
That's
a perfect example of that.
yeah.
So what, Bear, where can people find you? Like we've got the Fly Straight app that's free, right? There's and the
Yeah.
can you
Yep.
shout that out for people, please?
Well, the link would be too hard to put on here, but you can check me out on Instagram at Adam Lloyd Mindset.
Okay. And just
And
DM
then
me if they have any if
hit
they're
me up,
interested in
hit
tuning
hit
up.
me up on that. And then if you want, you can go.flystraight.ca. That's my website.
Yeah, because I've got that up and I will have the links to that in the description and the YouTube there and everything for sure.
And as far as
That's
the school
awesome.
goes, they can just hit me up, man, and I'll direct them to the school link. And it's a free community app that anybody can join. It's got your nutrition information, workout plans, weights and resistant band kind of workouts, just body weight workouts, a little bit of mindset stuff, and some challenges, to really bring out the warrior spirit in all of us, and it's, they're pretty
He's brought it
simple.
out in me. I love it. Like it's no nonsense, right? I'm just Bear, he said I just go, oh yeah, makes sense. Okay, yep, I'll do better. Yep. Just that's of my mindset because I'm obsessed with them figuring out my shit. But it's the Fly Straight community has changed my life. And you offer courses too, right, Bear? Like right now, someone could join a course with you, a mindset course, or a fitness program with Chris, right? Shout out to Chris.
Yeah, so Fly Straight, we run a fitness program. I run a mindset program, and I've got other programs coming down the pipeline. I believe that the evolution of a man will start with his fitness. Building that foundation. Then he's got to get clear on his vision. And then a man really needs to start to learn how to navigate his nervous system because he's going
Got it.
to elevate himself as a high value man. And when you're a high achieving man, you're going to be really operating at a stress level. So you got to learn how to control that and regulate yourself. And when you can regulate yourself, then you're going to really have to start to learn to connect to your inner self. You're going to find your journey of self-love is connecting yourself to your higher self. And then through that, we can work on men with relationships within themselves, their women, you know what I mean, their children, and all steps to become a high value man.
Fucking amen. Okay, well, we're
Yeah.
gonna do this again. I'll chip away at Jaimen here, and we'll get you back on here when we have a bit more a
Really
bigger
nice to
audience
meet you,
too.
Adam. So yeah.
Yeah, pleasure, brother.
Yeah, this was
Pleasure.
great. So fly straight, be the lighthouse, slay the day, keep a positive mental attitude, fail forward, just fucking do something.
Don't be a bitch.
Be a
Cheers.
bitch.